It's always nice. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on. People, we got Mark May with us. Absolute savage. I was watching one of your fights the other day, when Roberto said, yeah, this person's coming, this person. I was like, I'm going to watch some fights. I was watching your fights and savage. Clinch game is it's brutal to watch. I'm watching this guy take knees to the ribs over and over and over again, and I was like, I feel fucking sorry for that boy. Like, sorry. Brutal. To get that sort of style, what do you put a lot into the training? Is it a lot of cardio based training?
Testing. Yeah. So obviously, if you have a particular style, there needs to be like focuses on that style. I think for the longest time in combat sports in general, especially when you first start out, the goal is to build like a relatively well-rounded style. The more you progress, the more you get that well-rounded style, the more you then need to specialize and double down on what you're good at, which I think is arguably the key to success in life, as well as it is in martial arts and combat sports. So yeah, I figured out that I was good at kneeing, good at clinching. I should probably like double down on that rather than neglect that, rather than reject that and continue building a well-rounded game. I thought I'd double down on that, and I just got like obsessively OCD compulsive with like just being a clincher. Yeah.
Not letting go.
Yeah.
As soon as it breaks, it's like straight back on him. Clinch again. It's in Thai. It's called like Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, yeah. Muay Thai, yeah.
Obviously, Alfie Pierce has a very similar style as well.
He does, yeah.
He's a brute, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's just tearing through it.
I think, I think his coach is very good at teaching a Muay Thai style and respects the Muay Thai style in a way that isn't always the case in the UK. So I think that's filtered down to all his fighters.
Yeah.
Is
it a hard style to beat? Because obviously Alfie, I think, is unbeaten. You're on an 11-fight win streak, just on a tear.
We watched him when he was in 11 fights.
At Combat Fight Series. Yeah. It looks like people are struggling with that sort of style. Is it because not many people are really using it? Or like, why do you think it's so hard to defend against?
I think it's a neglected area. It's a neglected style within Muay Thai in general.
It's an aggressive style as well, man.
It's an aggressive style. So like, especially within Muay Thai world at the minute, there's a lot of like emphasis on like learning the scoring, and because of that emphasis, you get a lot of like left kickers, a lot of people that are going to like take that score and then maintain range. The Muay Thai style is almost like the opposite of maintaining range. It's like, fuck your range. I'm going to like do everything I can to like harass and guerrilla warfare your range out of you, So then like, I think it becomes a hard style for people to deal with, A, because they don't come across it a lot, and B, because the emphasis at the minute is on building scores, I think the default in the UK was always in building Muay mats, just because like punch, low kick style seems to be the style that the people in the UK, that's their default. We come from a boxing background here, boxing culture. And so that was the default. And then people realised that the way you beat that style is in having like good scoring technique and good distance management. So a lot of people have went towards that way. And then those guys suffer the most when they come up against a Muay Thai style, I think.
Yeah.
So it's almost like rock, paper, scissors regarding, It's almost like...
I know his heart dropped. And he done that.
It's almost like a game of rock, paper, scissors. One style to beat the other, another style to beat the other, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But because the country as a whole will focus on any one style at any one point, it means that they're going to beat any one style and they're vulnerable to another style. And I think at the minute, people going after that scoring style, they're vulnerable to a Muay Thai situation. Yeah. Not everyone. Like you said, you brought up Alfie Pierce, clinching fuck out of people at the minute. So it's not everyone. I think there is more clinchers being developed in the UK. But it's a process, isn't it? You can't just produce someone's style like that. It takes work. You almost need a coach to go like, fuck this, I'm going to change the style of everyone in my gym for it to happen. So I think there's going to be like a multi-generational process.
It's hard to get out of that style, though, isn't it? When someone's just latched onto you, bringing that aggression.
Yeah.
How do you get out of it?
Well, you need to be able to clinch itself, which is why like when you're first building a style, you need to get that well-roundedness so that you have the ability to repel other styles, as it were. But you also need to be able to exist within that style for you to be able to get out of it. So it almost like forces you to have to play their game whether you want to or not. You've got to play it a little bit, you know. I suppose it's the same for every style though. You know, like if someone's like putting it on you with punches and you've lost your ability to teep, like they're closing the distance and just punching you, I suppose that's a difficult style to deal with as well. Unless you're well versed at dealing with it. And because the focus on the UK can sometimes be one-track minded, I think people in general will struggle to deal with it. You know?
So you're sort of like a high pressure fighter. The Muay Thai style is high pressure.
Yeah.
Is that what people just can't deal with then, that pressure? Just comes at them. It's like relentless. When I was watching that Alfie, it was just relentless.
Yeah.
Relentless
Some people can deal with it.
pressure.
My last opponent dealt with it quite well, to be honest. Like, as you can see, right here. My last opponent my last opponent was able to clinch me back. And so then it became like doubly relentless because then I was like, well, I've still got a clinch. I've got to go after you more now, you know?
So will you like, say if that's happening, will you go to another style, or like you said, will you just double down and go, all right, fucking I need to do this twice as hard now?
Very good question. I think it depends on the person, to be honest. Like, you could... A lot of the time, if you double down on it and go for it, that a lot of the time is your path to victory anyway. But it might be that you find that you...
No, you're good there.
It might be that you find that you're doing well on the outside. You know, in my last fight, for example, I found that I was doing well, getting that kick score that we're talking about in the UK. We're developing that style a lot. I managed to get that score in my last fight. You know, I almost had to like hedge my bets and do both, and then like try and find the weak point where it was. But it was tough because he didn't really have one.
Yeah,
like he was tough in the way that I was tough. So we both just.
Clashed heads.
Yeah, we both just clashed, as it were.
So when you're clashing heads, it's just whoever's got a smarter game plan, or who's more adaptable?
it just sounds like fight IQ, like knowing where.
It's both. It's there's going to be fight IQ, and there's also going to be an element of toughness, especially if you've got that style where you are being aggressive and taking the initiative. If you're both being aggressive and taking the initiative, then I suppose there's a balance of raw toughness. But if you're both taking the initiative, you're probably both tough. So then I imagine it would be fight IQ that would be the thing that gives you the edge, as it were. Yeah.
Obviously, you're 11-1 now. You actually lost your first professional fight.
I did, yeah.
How did you manage to like overcome that to then go on an 11-fight win streak?
You just got to try not to take losses, take them to heart, you know, because like it's an inherently negative thing to lose. But if you let that negativity seep through and continue to be negative throughout your progress, then you're not progressing, you know? Positivity is where you progress. So you almost have to look at your fight and take where you need to improve, but put it in a positive direction and actually improve rather than just going, oh yeah, I lost, Mark's sad, you know? It's better that you go, okay, I'm sad. How do I make it so I don't lose in that particular way again? You know? So yeah, I think it's just like keeping positive.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like any sort of growth in martial arts almost has to have that mindset. You know? Don't get me wrong, there's some people that like negativity drives them. There are some people like that. They're almost like negative squared, where it's like their negativity goes inward and forces like two negatives make a positive. So if they're doubly negative, sometimes people are driven by that, but I think most people are driven by like positivity and that growth mindset you're talking about. Yeah.
And obviously you're coaching as well. What do you get more of a thrill out of? Do you like going in there and just going to war, or do you actually get more of a thrill out of taking the lads to the fights and coaching them up?
They're two different. They're very different. There are two very different dopamine hits in it. You know, it's like the difference between being a soldier and being a general. You know, like if you're a general and you're looking at the battle from the outskirts and you see your army winning, you're like, yes, my men have done it. You know, like I love it when a good plan comes together, right? You know, sat there with a cigar, but he's not having the same sort of time that Mr. T's having in that analogy. You know, so.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Have you been in the army?
What's that?
Have you been in the army?
No, but my dad was. So I actually travelled around
Okay.
doing
Okay.
that. Why do I like
Yeah,
got my hair
no,
cut?
no,
Look
no,
like
you
I've got a buzz cut.
Funny
Like.
vibes. Roberto said when you go to the fights, you're like, I'm going to conquer this land. We're going to take over the north. So you got that.
You heard all that, yeah? Yeah, man.
He ain't here to participate. He's here to take over.
I'm here to take over. Yeah, man.
And obviously you're not ranked.
Not currently, no.
I'm
formally ranked.
Why do you think this is? Obviously, you're on an 11 fight win streak. You're on a tear. You fought on some big shows as well.
Yeah.
You fought in the Hitman Fight League on short notice, and actually went out there and performed brilliant and won.
That's actually a really fun night, to be fair.
Yeah, I remember Roberto messaging me going, Mark's when he's taking a short notice fight, and I was going to come because George was there. I was going to come around and try and find you, but I was in the other dressing room, so I didn't actually know where I didn't know where the other dressing room was.
Okay. So. You were probably
I was upstairs somewhere where a bar is. There was a bar upstairs, and like you can walk out and you get onto like the balcony to look over. I didn't know where the other dressing rooms were.
Yeah, I think we were downstairs.
Downstairs,
like near where the entrance. Like the fight, like where you would enter to go to the fight. We were near there.
What short notice was that? How many weeks did you have to prepare?
Days.
Days?
Yeah, so like the fight was on Saturday and I accepted the fight Wednesday evening.
Oh, you were ready?
Yeah, I was ready. The thing is, I was in fight camp for another fight I had coming up, so I was kind of in shape anyway.
Yeah.
And then I saw that and I was like, my weight's good, my fitness is good, I'm mentally good, so why the fuck not? You know? Like,
you're here.
I'm here and there's no pressure around that whatsoever, you know? Like, no one expects me to win. Not that I care what anyone thinks, but there's no pressure on me to go out there and win. If anything, people expect me to lose. I know that I can win in that scenario, so why not go for it? Fortune favours the bold, right? So yeah, go for it.
This guy's the guy, man.
I got the analogy since age of phase. Yeah.
What was that whole Hitman experience like? Obviously, they're building up quite a nice big show, isn't they? To be fair.
Yeah. The production value of that show was actually really good. That day was just good in general. I woke up feeling good. The journey there was good. We arrived like a tiny bit late, but we arrived, got wrapped, fought, got paid and bounced. But it was like everything just ran smoothly that day, you know. Like, yeah, it was just smooth. Like everything about it was just nice, you know. Yeah, that was very nice. Very nice weekend.
But with your style and with your personality as well, I'm feeling like a superstar. I'm feeling like you could be a superstar. You're like what Thai needs. Like you're not the normal like Thai sort of fighter. Like I heard you were trash talking in one of your fights, saying nope.
Yeah.
He's kicking you like nope, and I think Dave goes. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, stop, fix up.
Yeah.
I heard him. He goes,
stop fucking around. Yeah, stop fucking around.
So you've got that like that personality, like that aura. Like, do you think that's important for you to have fun while you're out there?
Yeah. Like, what's the point in doing it if you're not like enjoying it? You know, like we get involved in fighting because it's something innate in us. So we should enjoy the fact that we get to do it. You know, the law's been suspended in our favour. We're allowed to go out there and hit someone on an elevated platform in front of an audience. We should enjoy that moment. The law's literally been suspended in our favour, you know? The gods have decided that on that night we're allowed to do what we're allowed to do. You know? the thing what they were most passionate about, so why not like enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
Good content, yeah?
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. And then how did you actually get involved with Thai and fighting in general? Like, what led you to actually start fighting?
What led me to first like pick it up?
Yeah.
So growing up as a kid, I was I fought a lot at school. I think I just had that temperament. And when I was in like say primary school, I would watch a lot of like wrestling, like WWE type stuff. That was almost like my surrogate fighting, you know. And then when I came across fighting, I was like, okay, this is actually what I want to do. This speaks to me. This speaks to my soul, kind of thing. And so I just found a website that listed every single martial art out there. It broke down like the style of martial art that it was, the history of it, the pros and cons to it. I was like, I could do boxing, but they don't kick. I could do kickboxing, but they don't really like grab or do anything. I could do jiu-jitsu. There's no striking. Muay Thai, punches, kicks, knees, elbows, hard martial art, strong. And then I started like looking at Muay Thai videos. I was like, that's what I want to do. That's the thing. And then I actually rang the guy who ended up being my first coach. He picked up the phone. He was like, yeah, come on down. And ever since then, it's been good.
What age was this?
I was 17 when I first started going, but I had my first fight and started taking it more seriously when I was about 19.
So how long have you actually been doing it for now? How old are you now?
I'm 32 now. So I've been doing it a while, yeah. I had a couple of years out, I broke my hand a couple of times, broke my leg a couple of times, but yeah.
Is that from doing the sport?
No, that's from being drunk. Best bit of advice, coaching advice for you. Don't go on nights out if you want to be a Thai fighter. You get injured more on nights out than you ever do coming to the gym.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, yeah, all my injuries are just from just like falling over.
Sloppy.
Yeah, just like... Well, one of them was. Another me and my friends were having a who can punch the biggest hole in a wall competition.
That is just mental.
Just so it's so stupid. Like, it's literally the stupidest way you can hurt yourself. Like, yeah, no self-preservation whatsoever involved in that process. For no reason. Like, it was just it's retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's straight up retarded.
Yeah,
like.
you do when you're drunk.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
drunk,
It's not,
you do some
and they've got the
stupid
power
shit,
to do shit like that as well. Like you've already got the power and the weight to punch. So you're going to be able to do damage.
And not only that, like, I know that I can. So why am I having these But yeah, when you're drunk on a night out and you're like young, you're just like, oh yeah, this looks fun. Ow, like, no good.
What was it like coming back from the injuries?
Coming back from the injuries. And one of them was from Thai boxing actually. One of them was from doing an NN club. I probably should say I don't drink much anymore, and yeah, one of the injuries was from was Thai boxing. I was actually doing an inter club. Someone went to kick me. I went to block it, but rather than blocking it here, I blocked it here, and a bit of ligament pulled a bit of bone off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
It was. At the time, I just thought like, oh, I've just been kicked in the foot. It hurts. I'll limp home. Nothing I've not done before. And then a couple of days after, I was like, I think I need to go to the hospital. This is not good. Doesn't feel right. And they're like, yeah, just pulled a bit of bone off with it. So like dealing with the injuries in and of itself was more frustrating that, like, especially with the leg, that I couldn't come to the gym. When I hurt my hand, I was still coming to the gym. So I had the cast on, but I was still like, just wasn't doing push-ups or anything.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'd like do what I could, Taking the cast off was vile, disgusting.
Was it?
Yeah, because I've like been training in it for months. You can't like wash underneath it,
Yeah, sweaty.
Stunk.
Ugh. Flashbacks. PTSD.
What's the plan for you? Obviously, like you said, you're 31, you're 11-1. How far do you actually want to take Thai? Where do you want to get to?
Well, I'm at a point now where, okay, so if I'm like 32.
32. I took a year off for you.
Yeah, thank you. New haircut, look young. Yeah, I'd say I kind of want to achieve as much as I can whilst I can. I don't like putting a number on it, which I suppose in some respects is dangerous because it means that no one really ever retires at the right time if they don't put a number on it. But I think as long as I feel good, I feel like I can compete at the level that I am, then I'll keep doing it and trying to like keep that positive mindset, trying to like further progress.
Yeah.
Do you feel your age?
No.
You don't look 32,
You don't look 32
at all.
Thank you very much.
It must have been the haircut.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I needed that ego boost. I needed that.
No, you don't. Seriously.
Thank you. I don't feel it as well. I think because like if you keep training, I think it's the stopping and starting and like the retirement mindset that ages a lot of people. I think if you like stay in it, you don't feel it as much. Don't be wrong. There might come a time where I do feel it. I think in fighting they say you overage, like they say you age overnight. So that overnight might be at some point soon, which is why I don't like putting a number on it. If I say I want to retire in 5 years, but then I start feeling old now, then, I've got 4 years of getting filled in by young guys,
Yeah.
But if I can do it till I feel good, then then I feel good. So I'm gonna keep doing
Take
it.
it as it comes.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
It's like one championship a goal. Like, do you want to get there, or do you sort of just?
I'd like to fight one championship. To be fair, I think like next time I go out to Bangkok, one of the gyms that I like training at, they've got the hookup with one, and I'd be more than willing in game. I'm more than willing to fight anyone. To be honest, I think at this point I can hang with anyone. And win, lose or draw, I'll be fine.
Is there anyone like from the English sort of scene, like the UK, that you're like, I want him, or is there anyone in front of you that you're like, yeah, I want him? I think my style beats his style.
So like everyone's advising me to do like call outs, because like otherwise I get neglected in Muay Thai world, if I'm honest. But they're cringy. Call outs are cringy as fuck, man. Like it's like there's a clout chasing behind it. There, I'm like, just have some pride.
You're not like that type of guy, yeah.
Yeah, like realistically, I'll fight whoever, and I'm willing to fight whoever, and I don't care how. I almost don't care who they are, other than they have to be of a standard that they belong in the ring with me. But calling people out in particular, it's this social media age. Something about it just doesn't sit right. And I think it's one of the reasons I've actually stopped watching some combat sports in general. It's just cringy. It's just cringy, and like they're doing it to sell a fight, but that doesn't sell anything to me. It just makes me embarrassed for them. So then I'm like, if I start calling people out, I start feeling embarrassed in myself because I'm doing that behaviour.
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
That's the way we've gone.
That's the way it's gone. And the thing is, there's almost nothing you can do about it. So it might be I have to call someone out. I'm not doing it today, but I might have to. But it's going to hurt my soul doing it.
You're going to have to sell a part of your soul, man.
Basically.
Have to, man.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to, but I mean, like, it sounded like you thinking you might have to.
I might have to, yeah.
And today's the day. No, but is there anyone you look at, like, in your weight class where you're like, I would love to test my skills with that person? So not a call out, but someone you respect and you're like, he's good. I think I would love to test my skills against him.
Okay, what weight class are we talking? Because I'm debating moving down. A class. And the thing is, whenever I put my name forward for a particular class, I always get offered the class above anyway.
Yeah.
So, 67.
What weight do you normally fight at?
So, like, the weight I should fight at is 67, but recently I've been fighting at like 69, 70 sort of weight. But I'd rather not. I'd rather fight at a weight class that's, like, fair in terms of, like if you're running a sport and you want things to be on an even playing field, really, I should fight the weight class that suits me the best, and everyone else should do the same. If every time I put myself forward for a fight, someone's like, oh, I want like that extra weight, then we're not doing things like the spirit of the sport has changed. Now you're trying to have one over on me. I'll still take that fight, but yeah, it gets annoying. It gets frustrating after a while. Yeah, so someone to think about, someone who I respect, it's 67. Rob, is Jack Kennedy at 67?
That is the thing with weight cutting, though, isn't it? Everyone is trying to gain that edge.
I'll say this. Like, Jack Kennedy, I actually respect his style a lot. Yeah, I respect his style a lot. He's got that Muay Thai style as well. So he's one of those in the UK that does do that style. 66. I respect his style, and if I could get in there with him, that'd be great. I'm not cool. No,
that's not a call out. That's like, I respect his. I respect his style.
If I did get offered a fight with him, I would take it.
Because that's what martial arts was before it got into this like Conor McGregor sort of Colby Covington age. It was like, I respect his style and I like my style, and I think that would be a good matchup for a fight. Like, I want to test myself against.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Muay Thai. I would like to see how that. I would like to see how that ends up. And nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about people's family.
Is it like that in Thai though? As much?
Nah, and the thing is, I don't even mind disrespectful. I like, if someone wants to come out there and like cuss out my family, cool, all's fair in love and war. You know, it's the desperateness of it that I don't like. It's like please everyone look at me. What's to call this fighter out? It's like, have some pride in yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel that. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It is like, it's desperation.
Yeah, it's desperation. It's like hunting for that media clout. You know. Really,
and you're not really a social media person as well, or that to me that doesn't come natural, so I don't like it either.
Yeah,
because I'm not that way inclined. You want to be a proper chap? Let's just fight. But
yeah,
this day and age, it's like they're making you do it. you have to sort of do it to get your name more known.
Yeah, like you see all the social media stuff. Like, did you seen any of that sort of stuff? Like the influencer.
That's what's made it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like at least they are in their lane when they're doing like boxing social media events. They're just staying in their lane and realizing they can make a bunch of money from it.
Yeah,
I actually think it makes sense that they would call each other out in that fashion. It doesn't make sense that, or I should say that's wrong. It does make sense, but I'm just a little bit embarrassed by it that combat sports in general is followed that trend, you know, and they followed it because it sells fights. Realistically, I blame the audience.
Yeah.
Like it's not the promoter's fault. It's not the fighter's fault. It's not the social media influencers'
It's people
fault.
with this generation.
It's the people. It's
Yeah.
it's the consumer. I think in any problem, most problems in society, to be fair, it's the consumer that's the problem, not the buyer, or not the seller. It's the consumer.
Everyone wants drama.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see drama.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
EastEnders.
Yeah. Drama when it's real is cool, but like you can tell when it's not real.
Yeah, you
know?
can tell when it's authentic.
And it's
when
off-putting. Like when it's not real, and like I hate it when you see a fight matched and they have like a somewhat okay fight, and then at the end of the interview they're like, "Oh, that was just for show." It's like, so you've just taken away that illusion. You've just admitted that you're like falsifying
Yeah.
like drama for views. You know, like if someone after a fight was just like, "Yeah, that was real. We buried the hatchet, but that was real." Then I can get behind that, you know? I can get behind someone being disrespectful. Whether they mean it or not, I can get behind that. But I don't like that the consumer buys into that fake Instagram drama. You know? I don't like that.
And what's it? How long have you actually been at Combat Warriors? Like, how did you get to this sort of stage?
Okay, so I've been at Combat Warriors for probably about 3 years now. What year is it? 2002. Yeah, so I came here in 2019. It started off like during the COVID years. The gym I was at was shut. So I started training people in the park. And then winter started rolling around. I was like training people in the park long in the winter.
It's getting
like,
a bit cold.
It's getting cold. It's dark out, you know. So I needed a place to come indoors. And luckily, this is an off-the-grid gym.
It don't exist.
Yeah, it may or may not have been open. May or may not have. I don't, like allegedly. And then when yeah, and then when lockdown ended, and I definitely was in here when lockdown ended. Yeah, I just met everyone and liked everyone. You know, we all had like the same path in life, you know. We all were people that wanted progress, wanted positivity, and wanted to like keep climbing. And so because of that, I decided to come here. You know, I liked everyone at the old gym as well, if I'm being honest.
But do you feel like this is just, there's some energy in it?
Yeah.
I feel it, man. We just come here today, and I feel there's some sort of like family orientation.
Yeah. We're all like, we've all got each other's backs here.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is like. And because we've all got each other's backs in a genuine way, like there's no ego attached to it. We're all willing to let each other help, and it's not. We know that there's no ulterior motive behind it. Not that there is at other gyms, but in this gym you feel like uber trusting in everyone, you know. Mm-hmm. And then everyone uber trusts you too, so it's like a really good environment. What's
it like training with George? And like, did you know him before you come here, or how?
I didn't know him before I come here. I knew Dave a little bit before I come here. Yeah. Not knew him, but like I've ran into him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then I come here, introduced to George, and because I was here a lot, started like helping George get ready. He started like helping me sometimes, and then so when COVID stopped being a thing and fight events started happening again, we had like a series of fighters who were like, because we're all on the same path and we're all training hard, we're ready, you know. So like when you were asking earlier, is it better, would you prefer being a fighter or being a coach? I was lucky enough to be able to be both, so I could experience both dopamine hits all at the same time. So yeah, it's been good. It's been a good year, man.
Do you fight? Is fighting and coaching like your full-time thing, or do you work as well?
Nah, this is on full-time.
You're full-time at this gym, yeah.
Just the passion.
Brilliant, man. Yeah. You're able to just be in there and just get that work in.
Yeah.
And
Well,
train.
okay, so talking about like having the style and being able to double down on what you're good at, I think you need to be able to do that with coaching as well.
Yeah.
So like you can develop a style, you can develop your style as a fighter, but in order to be the best coach you can be, I think you also need to double down in that. Because every coach has a different style.
Yeah.
So I think you need to be in this, you need to be married to this shit, whether you're a fighter or whether you're a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good though, man. I always love hearing it when someone's or people are just doing what they love doing.
Yeah.
And they're sort of just, and it's full time and there's nothing else on the side and they're just in it. Like it just gives me like, it just yokes me up a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's good to hear, man.
It's 'cause you wanna
people chasing their dreams. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also you got a gym full of people in there chasing their dreams, man. So.
Yes, yeah. I think that's the thing that like unites us all is we've all got the same dream pretty much, and we're all chasing it.
Yeah.
And we're all helping each other along the way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Have you got any up and coming fights already pre-booked in or anything like that? Anything to look out for you in the next coming months?
No.
Nothing.
Nah, nothing. Not at the minute anyway. Like if something pops up, then maybe I'll make a decision then and there rather. I'm saving up to go back out to Bangkok.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm doing that, I might need to do more coaching and work more. So then I have the money to be able to afford to double down on being a fighter in the mecca of fighting.
What's it like actually over there training and fighting? Does everyone need to experience it? That's in Thai.
I think so. Because going to Thailand is almost the ultimate in doubling down. So that doubling down on what you're good at, going to Thailand is the ultimate in that, you know? Not only are you doubling down in terms of how much work you're putting in, you're doubling down in terms of how much rest you're getting, how much food you want to eat. You're doubling down in terms of surrounding yourself with the highest standard. Just every single attribute that you can double down on, you can max out to a 10.
Yeah.
And the good thing out there as well is like gyms, like you'll have gyms who have a style of their own, as opposed to like, you might go to a gym in the UK and like, oh, this guy's a puncher, this guy's got good kicks, this guy's got whatever. Out there, they're well-rounded, but with one style maxed out to a 10, and that's the style that gym will be known for. So you're able to max out your attribute in that fashion.
What's it actually like with the training schedule? Because I heard Dan McGowan and Lewis Taylor talking about it on his podcast, and it was like relentless. Like you have to wake up at a certain time, you do the runs, then you're in the gym, then you do this and you do that. It's all set out when the fighters go over there.
Yeah.
What's that sort of schedule like, and what does a typical day look like?
A typical day, you'll train twice a day, between 3 and 4 hours each session. You wake up, well, each gym will have a different wake up time, but that tends to be like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, go for your run, skip, maybe shadow box, clinch or spar for a bit, hit pads, go on the bag, do some conditioning. And then after you've finished all that, that's your 3 to 4 hours done. Go and eat, sleep, rest, recover, because you've got to do it again at like 3, 4 o'clock in the evening. And you just like rinse and repeat. So you max out consistency in doing it with such high volume, I think.
Gain a lot quick as well. Have you had any fights out there?
I have, yeah. I fought 5 times in Thailand.
Yeah? How did it go?
Yeah, good. Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Did you fight Thai savages? Are they all Thai people?
Nah, like 4 of them were Thais, and one of them was a Chinese guy.
Oh, okay.
The first Thai I fought was like very skilled in terms of technique. I think he was I think he's a coach out there now. And I knocked him out in the 3rd round. But he had skills, you know. The second Thai I fought had the hardest kick I've ever felt on a person. He's out of shape, but he had like a donkey kick. It was just absurd. It was one of those kicks, he threw it, and I was like, yeah, another 2 of those, and he will break my arm for sure. I'm not even being like metaphorical on that. He will break my arm.
Yeah.
Don't let him land that kick again. His entire game plan was just like, I don't need fitness. I'm just going to kick his arm until he breaks. Yeah, that was his entire game plan. It was a valid game plan, given how hard he kicked. The third guy didn't belong in the ring. I don't think. I think he just needed money. So I feel bad for that one. And then I fought on Super Champ, which is probably one of the hardest fights I've ever had. That was against a Thai guy. He dropped me in the first 15 seconds. He dropped me. I just had to like overcome that, you know. And then my last fight out there was against a Chinese guy who's one of the sharpest guys I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very sharp. Like
Real
very
good.
explosive, good movement, could throw a combination, bomb, kick straight away. Like, so it was like speed, power, strength, and good timing.
So he's like well-rounded.
He was well-rounded. Other than like, I don't think he was the best clincher in the world, which suited me.
Seems like the clinch just gives people problems, man.
Yeah, I think it gave him problems because
he's not used to it.
He's not used to clinching. But then the Thai guy that I thought was used to clinching could give me a good clinch, but I think I ended up tiring him out anyway. You know, partially to do with my height and partially to do with like my clinching style is quite relentless, so it tires people out. You know. But yeah, so I done well in all of the fights that I've had in Thailand, and I'm hoping to go back out there and
get established.
Get established and hopefully repeat that success.
Yeah.
You know?
What's it like actually leaving like your regular coaches and going out to Thailand and sort of putting your trust in another team?
The gym that I went to last time, you can put your trust in them 100%. You know, like you go there, especially back when the head coach who was there when I was there was in. He was almost like a father, a general, and a coach all rolled into one. You had no problems trusting that guy. None. Like, he was one of the best coaches I've ever had, and he doesn't even speak English. But he was like, just through force of will, he just communicated what he wanted. And because he had that force of will and you knew he had your back, you're like, cool, my life's in this guy's hands, but it's good hands to be in. So, yeah, I had no problem being coached out there by them. And to be fair, like they have doubled down on coaching. Probably not by choice, probably need the money. But they are, because they're doubled down in that, there are people to listen to.
Yeah.
So you don't ever feel like maybe they're wrong, maybe they're right. You know they're correct. When they tell you something, that you know that they're right. They've seen it 1,000 times before. So you have no problem listening to them. You know? And if you think you know better than your coaches, you're probably at the wrong place anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, if every time your coach says something to you, you're like, oh, but, you know, I don't agree with that. What about this? It's like, if that happens too often, then you're at the wrong place.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Well, like, it could be that you're correct, in which case you've got the wrong guy coaching you, or it could be that you're wrong, in which case you're not willing to listen to your coach. But either way, you've got, like, a bad situation there.
Yeah, there's an issue.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the Scottish coach, St Gallagher. He's training.
JP Gallagher.
Yeah, JP Gallagher. Yeah. I heard him speaking, saying that he thinks the West is overtaking Thailand. In the sense of, like, with the fighters, like he was saying, you don't actually have to get to world level. You don't really need to go out to Thailand or be Thai. Like, a lot of the people in the West are doing that now. Do you agree with what he's saying, or do you understand what he's saying?
I understand what he's saying. The standard, the gap in standard is being closed. Well, I think you can get, like, good enough training to be at that standard outside of Thailand, but I think it's fewer and far between. And
it's the homeland, though, isn't it?
It is the homeland. It is the Mecca.
It's
where, like,
power.
Holds that clout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the best standard in the world is still there.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
And maybe them guys from the West, they've probably all gone there and picked up
for the most
skills
part,
themselves, and then gone back.
And then gone back and then been like, oh, we don't need it. But realistically, you've learned those skills from there anyway.
Yeah,
you know?
the data's not very clear.
And then there's also, like, in a lot of, not every situation, but sometimes you'll get, like, matchups where, because you're trying to promote Muay Thai in the West, you want the Westerner to win. So the Westerner will be bigger. He'll have that experience. Maybe you'll get a Westerner with, like, knockout power, and you'll match him against a Thai who's, like, weathered, beaten down, on his way out, past his prime. And you, like, it's that same thing as before, chasing that clout. You know, if you beat that name, you then all of a sudden, oh, you're that boy. In some situations, it's matchmaking. It's called, not all. There's some good guys that have went out there and won. You know, I rate like John Haggerty, for example, is going out there. Joe Ryan recently is gone out there and is attempting to get established out there. Nico Corrido's another one. Like, people are going out there and taking those fights against Thais. I think a lot of the time.
Is that the way to the one championship then? Would you get more noticed out there?
I think you get more noticed globally on one.
Yeah.
and so you'll get more like global clout.
I know, but to make it onto one championship, is it better to fight out in Thailand?
I don't know.
Or can you make it from here?
I think you can. I think you can make it from here if you were from an established gym from here that was connected to
one championship.
Yeah. And I think if you were to go out to Thailand, like a lot of gyms are connected to one. Yeah. I think you can be successful in the West having not gone to Thailand. But a lot of the guys that have picked up the skills that they would teach in the West have picked up the skills to teach in Thailand. You know?
So it all leads home.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Like Thailand have been the group that have drove the standard of, well, because the name is Muay Thai, right? But yeah, I think like Westerners can and should be aiming to compete at that standard. Some of them are, like John Haggerty's doing pieces at the minute. But another thing as well, it's kind of Thailand versus the world right now, you know. So if you were to go like, Thailand versus this country, I think it would tell like a better story than Thailand versus the West. You know, the West is a big place.
It's a big place.
It's a very big place relative to like Thailand, you know. So yeah, I think if you were to have, and also the weight classes as well. Like we're naturally bigger, so we're going to fight it like bigger a higher weight class. So we might go out there and dominate at this higher weight class and be like, the West is big. Like we're doing good right now. If you were to go in those lower weight classes and look at the global rankings, you would see it like Thai number 1, Thai number 2, Thai number 3, Westerner number 4, Thai number 5, Thai number 6.
Yeah.
You know? So there's a lot of different factors at play, and I think the whole story needs to be told. I agree that Westerners can get to the top outside of Thailand. I agree that they should be attempting to get to the top, but I think it is helpful for those Westerners to go to Thailand and experience that for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Haggerty's he's such a beast, though, isn't it? Because he's in them weight classes with like the best of the best Thais, like Rod Tang and Nongo,
yeah,
and stuff like that. And he's like beating them, and it's like, whoa,
yeah,
shit, man,
yeah.
like he's legit.
John Haggerty's legit.
Yeah,
he's legit. Same like, for example, like I think Joe Ryan's legit, you know, and he's young at the minute, but he's already willing to like go out to Lupini and fight on a main card out there, you know. So we've got guys that are willing to go out there. We've just got like we said, fortune favours bold. We just got to be bold enough to do it, confident enough to do it, and double down on what we're good at, and you will see that success translate into victories.
Obviously because you're a clincher, what's the perfect way to clinch for you? Like, how would you teach someone to clinch? Like, if there's some clinch game people out there watching, like, what is the perfect way?
The perfect way to train clinch?
Yeah.
Just to do it more. Like, essentially, clinching is one of those things that like you can show techniques, but you'll learn by doing. You'll learn body mechanics by doing. You'll learn like where to push, where to pull, just by being more consistent with how consistently you clinch and how long you clinch for. I think is the key to it.
Is there like a perfect way to lock your hands, or like you said, is it just body mechanics? So like if they're posting one way, you go in the other way, or is there like a skill to follow in the body?
Well, it depends, because there's styles within styles. Yeah. So like you could be a clincher that like your style is to lock out, in which case you've just got to find the position that you're strongest in and the position that people can't get out of. Or you can have a clinch style where everything ebbs and flows. You keep like switching positions, and because they're having to like keep up, they're consistently moving. So it's like if you lock out on someone might try and force their way through that lockout, which is tiring. If you have like a flowy style, they're going to have to match that flow, which is tiring. So you have like those two different styles. I wouldn't say there's a perfect lock. There's some locks that are stronger than others, but I don't know if there's a perfect lock or a perfect way of training clinch.
How do you do it? Do you switch?
Yeah, you'd switch between the two.
Yeah.
And, like,
That's your face.
Yeah.
He clinches, locks out, and has your face.
Yeah, I quite like locking out, but it depends on who I'm clinching. You know, if I'm up against someone who has a good enough clinch ability that I can't just lock them out at will, then I will go into that flow and then see if I can create something that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the key to getting good at clinching is just to clinch more. Just do it loads.
Repetition. Just
like keep repping it out. Get your work your clinch muscles.
Brilliant. Is there anything left?
What the clinch, man?
Rob, have you got anything?
Yeah.
Anything that we missed on that you think?
I haven't seen it all, but I think
Obviously, we got 2 final questions anyway. We got the 2 questions of the pod. So how do you want to be remembered? So when it's all said and done for you, 1 championship, Muay cowing everyone on top of the world. How do you want to be?
Hopefully.
How does Marky May want to be remembered
In fight world or in life?
in life?
In life. That's a very good question. In life, I want to be remembered as a good man with integrity. In life. In fight world, I want to be known as someone who tried their hardest to achieve their potential and got as close to their potential as they can. And I want to be known as someone who like overcame the odds in some way. You know? Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Man. I love that. And the final question: your most euphoric moment in life so far?
What a question to ask a fighter. Probably. I've got two fights have sprung up in my head. The first one is the Super Champ fight, just because of how because the lights were bright. It was on Thai national TV. Everyone back home was watching, and because I got dropped in the first 15 seconds, to overcome that, was a bit of a vibe. And then I had a fight earlier in my career, in the semi-pro days, where I fought a guy who was 7 wins, 7 knockouts, and I didn't see him weigh in, but I suspect he was bigger than me as well. And I went in there with everyone else expecting that I was going to lose, but I knew in my heart that if I fought the right fight, I'd win, and I overcome it. And I proved my own mental fortitude to myself, and that it might be either that moment or Super Champ.
Yeah.
Probably the two most euphoric moments.
That's brilliant, man.
That is great,
Mark,
man.
thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
man.
Diaz.
It's been lovely. It's lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was good.
People, I'll drop all your Instagram down below and stuff like that, so people go check him out, go watch his fights. If you're in the Bristol area, sign up for a PT, man. Come down here and learn some of that clinch
Everyone
game.
welcome. Everyone welcome.
And people, that's been another episode of the Curious Fijian. And peace, people.
Peace.
Thank you,
Thanks.
man.